Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen issue 6 sees Jimmy put in jail, where none of the other unsavory criminals dare go near him, since everyone knows he's Superman's pal. Doug, however, doesn't care, intending on shivving the young photographer, but luckily Jimmy is freed, as his charges were dismissed. Jimmy meets with Mr. Lynch outside, who is glad the charges were dropped. Jimmy wonders what charges were laid against him anyway, but Lynch says it's not to worry since Lex Luthor dropped them, all on his own, like he just needed Jimmy locked up for the night. As Jimmy ponders if that will ever come back to him, Jix, the interdimensional jewel thief, is to be married off to a warlord. However, she breaks the wedding off, upsetting the warlord, who enslaved her people so he could marry her. Jix says that's why she's not marrying him, causing the crying warlord to order her to be banished. Jix, however, smashes her rigged crown, releasing the smoke bomb hidden in it and making her escape. The warlord demands her to be found as Jix escapes, saying she's going to find Jimmy Olsen and kill him. Sometime before, the assassin Nathan Guy takes aim at Jimmy's apartment window, distracted by a butterfly as the shades go up and he spots Olsen, taking the shot and firing a few more just to be safe. The assassin knows his day is looking up as he packs up and leaves, going to an art museum and feeding the ducks at the park, pondering if he should call his ex-wife. Hailing a taxi, he gets into the cab Miss Tessmacher has taken over. As the cab drives off, the screen in the back begins talking to Nathan, revealing Lex wants the man to answer one question: who hired him to assassinate Jimmy Olsen in Lex's city without his permission? Nathan tries to escape but cannot get out of the cab as Eve pulls a gun on him. Not wanting to give up, Nathan cracks his cyanide tooth, killing him painfully as Lex watches on, saying this is just another great mystery for him to solve, but he hates mysteries. Elsewhere, Detective James Corrigan III demands everything in the car park murder scene of Detective Diamond be noted down as fellow officers talk about James being possessed by the spectre of vengeance. But one of the officers knows that this isn't that James Corrigan, this is just a normal guy. Corrigan rushes back to the station, grabbing Diamond's files and finding the detective was investigating a complaint made by Lex Luthor against Jimmy Olsen. Corrigan knows that Lex called in a murder by Jimmy, which let Olsen be arrested, but Olsen's alibi of hanging out with Superman, which was viewed by 125 million people, checked out and he was set free. He knows Lex called off the charges that morning and Jimmy was released. He knows Jimmy was stashed overnight for some reason as another detective tells him of a 911 call that just came in, saying that Jimmy Olsen is dead. James investigates the body, finding Jimmy is indeed dead, but his case is now still unsolved, but he vows to get to the bottom of it. In the Fortress of Solitude, Superman tries to help Dr. Mantell with his Kryptonian technology. Mantell is only concerned with Jimmy's well-being as Lois tries to tell him where he is. Superman covers his ears since he isn't supposed to know where Jimmy is and he wants to be a man of his word, not know. Mantell knows that time is of the essence since the things he saw in the ultraspace weren't meant to be seen by simple creatures like him. Superman says that Mantell isn't simple and he's a brilliant man, and Mantell says he knows that, but he knows there are some things that he is not meant to understand. He says that some people think that time is a flat circle, but Mantell says that it isn't. It's the opposite, a rounded square. Mantell reveals that he caught a glimpse of time and what is to come and what has already come, and he wants to use his knowledge to try and save Jimmy's life as well as the whole world from an invasion. Superman doesn't believe him since the most trouble Jimmy gets into is just hijinks and shenanigans, but Mantell is adamant that Superman and Lois help him. As Superman blocks his ears, Lois gives him Jimmy's address, telling Mantell not to show Superman. In Gotham, Jimmy walks Dexter with his sister Janie, who says that she talked with her brother and he is sorry of everything that he said to Jimmy. Jimmy understands, but he knows his brother was rather unhinged since he was pushed by him. Suddenly, the two are confronted by men who want to try and kidnap them, but Jimmy throws Dexter at them, whose burning blood vomit burns the men's faces. Jimmy and Janie race up to Jimmy's apartment, but there are more men up there who begin beating Jimmy. He tells his sister to hit the deck as he turns on the lights, causing a huge group of bats to swarm in through the window, attacking the men and making them flee. Despite this, Jimmy still suffered a beating, but luckily, Batman is there to help, reassuring Jimmy he is now safe. Batman goes to help Janie up, thanking her for her contributions to the dramatic plays of Gotham. Batman knows that Jimmy has pissed off someone badly, and he doesn't know who, but he knows it wasn't Luthor, since he tried to protect Jimmy by putting him in jail for the night. Batman notices his Batmobile tie in the corner of Jimmy's apartment, causing him to wash his hands of everything, telling Jimmy usually when he deals with someone like him, there's a school bus full of dead kids not far behind, but whoever However, once Jimmy dead is now completely off his radar, so he can't protect Jimmy in the apartment, telling him and his sister to go downstairs and meet the English gentleman in the town car out the front, since the man will drive them anywhere they need to go, as long as it's out of Gotham. As Batman leaves, he says that he had Jimmy's name legally changed to Jimphony, like symphony but with Jim in front of it, since Batman always wins his prank wars. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen issue 6 was another fantastically funny entry into the series that caps off Jimmy's death story and moves him out of Gotham into the unknown. I absolutely love how the book is set up with little 3 to 4 page stories that at first don't really appear connected, only to be brought together by the central plot later on in the book, with Jimmy trying to find out who's killing him and relating back to the Batman plot. I'm really looking forward to the next issue and where this book heads now that we're past the halfway point. We got a bit of a preview this issue with Dr. Mantell hinting at invasions of Earth and what's to become of Jimmy Olsen, so I'm very excited. I'm going to give this issue a 9.5 out of 10.